If you're over 60, there's a dangerous mistake hiding in your kitchen, one that could quietly hurt your brain, your gut, or even your heart overnight. You won't smell it, you won't taste it, and worst of all, you won't feel a thing until it's too late. I'm talking about reheating leftovers, simple meals we all save for convenience. But certain everyday foods, when reheated, don't just lose nutrients. They can turn toxic. And for older adults, that could mean a sudden drop in blood pressure, vomiting, memory lapses, or even a stroke while you sleep. As a neurologist with over 30 years of experience, I've seen far too many seniors hospitalized not because they smoked, drank, or ate junk food, but because they reheated something they thought was healthy. A baked potato, a chicken dinner, a bowl of rice, foods we've trusted our whole lives, now quietly working against us. The truth is, your digestive system, immune function, and blood vessels change after 60. What was harmless in your 30s can become dangerous in your 70s, especially if you're on blood pressure meds or blood thinners. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 foods you should never reheat and the science that proves why. I'll also show you 3 foods that you must reheat to avoid serious illness. So stay with me. This knowledge could save your life or someone you love. If you're new here, click the subscribe button and tap the bell for weekly health tips tailored to older adults. And please type your age and where you're watching from in the comments. We read every one and respond with personalized advice. Now let's get started. Number 1, potatoes. When a familiar food quietly threatens your brain. Over the years, I've seen more patients than I can count end up in the hospital because of a food they trusted all their lives. Potatoes, mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, potato casseroles. They're in just about every household. But here's what many seniors don't realize. If you leave cooked potatoes sitting out too long at room temperature, then reheat them later, you may be creating the perfect environment for a dangerous bacteria to grow, one that can attack your nervous system without any warning. That bacteria is called Clostridium botulinum, the same one that causes botulism. It's rare, but when it strikes, it can be devastating, especially for older adults. The worst part? Even if you reheat the potatoes thoroughly, the toxins this bacteria produces may survive high heat. That means your food might smell fine, look fine, even taste fine, but it could still be silently poisoning your body. One of my patients, Mr. Charles, 72, from Ohio, used to bake a whole tray of potatoes each week, wrap them in foil, and leave them on the counter. Every night, he'd reheat a portion in the microwave for dinner. One morning, he woke up struggling to breathe, with weakness in his muscles and nausea so intense he couldn't stand. At the hospital, we diagnosed him with foodborne botulism. The culprit? A potato he had reheated from 2 days earlier. Older adults are more vulnerable because the immune system naturally weakens with age. What used to be a minor risk in your 40s becomes a major threat in your 70s. So what can you do? Always refrigerate cooked potatoes within 1 hour. Never store them wrapped in foil because the lack of oxygen helps bacteria thrive. Use shallow sealed containers and eat leftovers within 3 days. And if you want to be even safer, cook just what you need. Fresh potatoes not only taste better, but also offer more nutrients like potassium and vitamin C that diminish during storage and reheating. Remember, potatoes can be a helpful friend, but only if handled wisely. Have you ever reheated potatoes more than once? Share your experience in the comments. My team and I read every message, and we're here to help you eat smarter and safer every day. Number 2, mushrooms. When a nutritious food quietly disrupts your heart and digestion. As a neurologist who has spent decades treating older adults, I've always encouraged my patients to eat nutrient-rich, natural foods. And mushrooms often top that list. They're loaded with vitamin D, antioxidants, and they're one of the rare plant-based sources of vitamin B12, something seniors truly need. But here's what most people never hear. Mushrooms are also one of the most delicate and unstable foods when it comes to reheating. Once cooked, the proteins and enzymes inside mushrooms begin to break down rapidly. If you leave them sitting at room temperature or store them improperly, then reheat them the next day, you may be unknowingly triggering harmful compounds that affect your heart and your digestive system. I'll never forget Mrs. Ellen, age 76, from California. She was one of my more health-conscious patients, always cooking her meals from scratch, eating fresh. Her favorite comfort dish was homemade mushroom soup, usually made at night with leftovers saved in the pot for breakfast. One morning after reheating a bowl in the microwave, she started feeling dizzy, nauseated, and noticed her heart racing. At the hospital, we found signs of arrhythmia and mild intestinal inflammation. The cause? Toxins released from reheated mushrooms that had broken down overnight. Research from the University of Milan and the International Journal of Food Microbiology supports this. Reheated mushrooms contain compounds that can trigger digestive distress, heart rhythm issues, and blood pressure spikes. These effects are especially dangerous for seniors, particularly those on heart medications or with cardiovascular conditions. So, how do you stay safe? The golden rule is this: eat mushrooms immediately after cooking. If you must store them, refrigerate within 30 minutes in a sealed container. Never leave them sitting out. And if you have leftovers, don't reheat them. Instead, slice them cold into a salad or blend them into a chilled soup. But under no circumstances should cooked mushrooms ever be reheated. Not in the microwave, not in a pan, not at all. I understand changing habits isn't easy, but at this stage of life, even small changes can protect your heart, your memory, and your independence. Do you often reheat mushroom dishes? Let me know in the comments. If this section helped you, type 1 on one below so I know you're with me. I read every comment and respond with guidance to help you stay safe and healthy every single day. Number 3, chicken. When a beloved staple becomes a bacterial time bomb. Among all the foods that cause foodborne illness in older adults, chicken is one of the most common and most underestimated. It sounds surprising, doesn't it? Chicken is considered a healthy, lean protein. Millions of Americans eat it every day. But for seniors, when chicken is cooked, cooled, and then reheated improperly, it can quietly become a breeding ground for bacteria. Here's the reality. Harmful bacteria like Salmonella and Campylobacter can double every 20 minutes at room temperature. That means if you leave cooked chicken out for more than 2 hours, even before refrigerating it, those bacteria can multiply to unsafe levels. And even if you reheat it until it's piping hot, the toxins those bacteria may have already released are not destroyed by heat. I'll never forget Mr. Raymond, age 80, from Florida. Every Sunday, his daughter cooked a big pot of chicken stew, divided it into containers, and left them for him to reheat during the week. It was a thoughtful routine. But one night after dinner, he started feeling abdominal pain, extreme weakness, and then severe vomiting. By the time he got to the hospital, he was dangerously dehydrated and in early kidney failure from food poisoning caused by improperly reheated chicken. Older adults are more susceptible because their immune systems are slower to respond. Digestion is also more delicate. What's more, reheating chicken changes its protein structure in a way that makes it harder to digest and more likely to cause inflammation, especially concerning for those with arthritis or cardiovascular conditions. So how can you enjoy chicken safely? First, refrigerate cooked chicken within 1 hour. Roast it in shallow sealed containers for faster cooling. Never refrigerate a whole piece of chicken. Always portion it out. Eat refrigerated chicken within 48 hours. And if you must reuse it, eat it cold in a sandwich or salad. Ideally, cook just what you need for one meal. Fresh chicken doesn't just taste better, it keeps all the essential nutrients like B vitamins and selenium that support memory and immune strength. Don't let a small habit like reheating chicken turn into a big health risk. Let me know in the comments. How often do you eat leftover chicken? Do you usually reheat it? I read every comment and will respond with tips tailored to your needs. You're not alone in this. We're in it together, protecting your health one meal at a time. Number 4, rice, the silent danger hiding in a seemingly harmless dish. Of all the foods we eat, rice might be the most surprising on this list. It's a staple on dinner tables around the world. We cook a pot, let it cool, store it, and reheat it the next day. Seems harmless, right? But for older adults, that simple habit could lead to unexpected hospital visits. Here's what you may not know. Cooked rice can harbor a bacterium called Bacillus cereus. This bacterium is heat-resistant, meaning it can survive the cooking process. And once rice is left to cool, especially if it sits at room temperature for more than an hour, it begins to multiply rapidly and release two types of toxins. One causes vomiting, the other causes severe diarrhea. And here's the kicker. Those toxins are not destroyed by reheating. I remember Mr. and Mrs. Thomas, both in their 70s from New Jersey. They liked to cook large batches of rice on Sundays and reheat portions during the week. After a simple dinner of leftover rice, they both became violently ill overnight. Stomach cramps, nausea, and diarrhea. Mrs. Thomas became severely dehydrated, and Mr. Thomas was hospitalized with an electrolyte imbalance. Tests confirmed the cause: toxins from Bacillus cereus in improperly stored and reheated rice. For seniors, even mild symptoms like upset stomach or loose stools can escalate quickly. Dehydration, dizziness, or fainting can lead to falls, hospital visits, and even heart complications. So how can you protect yourself? Cool, freshly cooked rice quickly by spreading it on a wide plate. Refrigerate within 1 hour and store in shallow containers no thicker than 2 inches. Eat refrigerated rice within 24 hours and never reheat it more than once. For better safety, use leftover rice for stir-fry, where high heat and constant movement help reduce bacterial risk, or enjoy it cold in a healthy salad with vegetables and lean protein. Rice is a wonderful source of energy, B vitamins, and heart-healthy minerals, but only when handled with care. Have you ever felt unwell after reheating rice? Share your story in the comments. Your experience could help protect others. I read every message, and together we can build safer, healthier habits, one bowl at a time. Number 5, leafy greens. When a super healthy food quietly threatens your blood and oxygen. If there's one food almost everyone believes is completely safe, maybe even essential for good health, it's leafy greens. Spinach, kale, lettuce, Swiss chard. They're packed with antioxidants, vitamin K, iron, calcium, and nutrients every older adult needs. But there's a hidden danger in these greens that very few people talk about, especially when it comes to reheating them. The problem lies in something called nitrates. In fresh greens, nitrates are harmless, even beneficial. But once greens are cooked and left to cool, especially if not stored properly, bacteria begin converting those nitrates into nitrites. And when you reheat them, those nitrites can transform into nitrosamines, compounds classified as probable carcinogens by the World Health Organization. I remember Mrs. Hilda, 81, from Illinois. She loved making spinach soup, one portion for lunch, another saved for dinner. She believed she was doing everything right. But after weeks of this habit, she began feeling constantly tired, short of breath, with bluish skin and headaches. Blood tests showed she had methemoglobinemia, a condition where the blood loses its ability to carry oxygen properly. The cause? Reheated spinach, eaten daily. Older adults are especially vulnerable to low oxygen levels in the blood. It can lead to confusion, dizziness, and dangerous falls. And if you're on heart or blood pressure medications, these effects can become even more serious. So how can you stay safe? Eat leafy greens immediately after cooking. If you must save leftovers, cool them quickly using an ice bath, then refrigerate right away, and never reheat them again. Leftover greens can be used cold in salads or blended into a smoothie. And when cooking, try adding a squeeze of lemon. This boosts iron absorption and enhances antioxidants. Leafy greens are nature's gift, but like all foods, they must be handled wisely. Do you often reheat cooked vegetables or greens? Share your habits in the comments below. I read every single response and reply with care, because sometimes the smallest choices make the biggest difference, especially when it comes to your health. Number 6, common mistakes when storing food in the fridge, and how to fix them. Most older adults believe that once food goes into the fridge, it's safe. That's the end of the story. But the truth is, refrigeration only slows down bacteria. It does not kill them. And if your food isn't stored properly, harmful bacteria can still grow quietly, right there in your fridge. I remember speaking with Mr. Harry, 74, who lives alone in Ohio. He told me how he likes to cook a big pot of soup, let it cool down on the counter, and then place the whole pot in the fridge for the week. It seemed practical, but here's the problem. Large pots of food take hours to cool completely, especially if the lid is on. That means the middle of the pot stays warm for too long, right in the danger zone where bacteria multiply quickly. Even inside the fridge, the center may stay too warm for hours. Another common mistake is using old plastic containers, ones with scratches, warped lids, or no seal at all. These containers don't just allow bacteria to slip in. When you reheat food in them, they may also release microplastics or chemical residue into your meals. What's more, many people forget to label their leftovers. Without knowing when the food was stored, you could be eating something that's already spoiled, without even realizing it. So how can you stay safe? First, cool cook food quickly. Divide leftovers into shallow dishes or wide containers so they cool evenly and fast. Never pack hot food into a deep container and seal it tightly. The inside stays warm too long, encouraging bacteria to grow. Second, use high-quality containers with airtight lids, preferably glass or BPA-free plastic. And always label your leftovers with the date and time you stored them. Try to follow the simple rule, first in, first out. Lastly, don't keep food for too long. Even if it smells fine or looks okay, bacteria may still be present. Remember, as we age, our immune systems become less resilient. The amount of bacteria a young person can handle without issue may be enough to make you seriously ill. Take a moment today to look at how you're storing food in your refrigerator. Are you letting dishes cool too long before refrigerating? Do you label containers with the date? If not, don't worry, you're not alone. Small changes in your daily habits can lead to big improvements in your long-term health. If you've ever had a bad experience with leftovers, share it in the comments below. I'll reply with practical tips tailored to your situation. Because sometimes the place we think is the safest, our refrigerator, is where unseen dangers begin. Let's fix that together. Number 7, subtle signs. Your body might be reacting to mild food poisoning. Not all cases of food poisoning are dramatic. You don't always collapse with vomiting or run to the bathroom in distress. Sometimes the toxins that come from poorly stored or reheated food create much quieter symptoms. Symptoms so mild you might chalk them up to just getting older. But I encourage you to pause and listen closely to what your body might be trying to tell you. Here are some early signs that something might not be right. You feel unusually tired after eating, like you need to lie down or rest for hours. You experience lightheadedness or a sense of weakness when standing, even if your blood pressure is normal. Recurring bloating, mild gas, or diarrhea a few times a week. Poor appetite, low energy, headaches, or restless sleep, especially the day after eating leftovers. These symptoms don't scream food poisoning, but they can be your body's way of reacting to low-level toxins in reheated or improperly stored foods. And over time, these small reactions can build up, weakening your immune system, slowing down your digestion, and leaving you feeling off more often than you should. I remember Mr. Leung, 78, who visited my office often, complaining of constant fatigue and poor sleep. He lived alone and would often reheat the same bowl of soup and rice multiple times over 2 or 3 days. No severe stomach issues, just a steady decline in energy and well-being. I suggested he switch to freshly cooked meals for 1 week. By day 4, he already noticed the difference. Better appetite, clearer mind, and less fatigue. It wasn't age, it was a food habit he never questioned. If you relate to this, try keeping a food journal. Write down what you eat, when you eat it, and how you feel a few hours later. Patterns will emerge. You might discover that a particular dish you thought was harmless is affecting your body more than you realize. And please, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor. Subtle symptoms still matter, especially as we age. Being proactive about small changes can have a big impact on your gut, your energy, even your mood. Have you ever felt off after eating a leftover meal and didn't know why? Share your story in the comments. I read every response and I'll do my best to help you understand what your body may be saying, because your body knows. All we need to do is listen. Number 8, top 3 foods seniors should always cook fresh, never store as leftovers. Not all foods are meant to be saved for later. Some meals are safest and healthiest when eaten immediately after cooking. Even with proper storage and careful reheating, certain dishes can become risky, especially for older adults, due to how their structure changes or how they generate harmful compounds over time. Here are 3 foods I always advise my patients over 60 to eat fresh and never keep for the next day. 1. Fried or pan-cooked eggs. Eggs are a fantastic source of protein, rich in vitamin D, choline, and healthy fats that support brain function. But once an egg has been fried or pan-cooked and then left to cool, its cholesterol can begin to oxidize. Oxidized cholesterol may contribute to inflammation in blood vessels and increase the risk of heart disease, particularly in older adults with high blood pressure or cholesterol issues. Additionally, reheated eggs often lose their pleasant texture, develop a rubbery feel, and may smell off. For seniors with sensitive digestion, this can lead to nausea or bloating. My advice, if you accidentally cook more than needed, eat the extra egg cold, perhaps sliced into a salad. But avoid reheating it, especially in a microwave. 2. Fish, especially fried or grilled fish, is one of the healthiest proteins, full of omega-3 fatty acids that protect the heart and brain. But once cooked fish sits too long, its oils begin to oxidize, creating strong odors and increasing the formation of harmful free radicals. Reheating fish, particularly fried fish, can also produce irritating compounds and ruin its taste and digestibility. This is especially true for oily fish like salmon, mackerel, or sardines. Once reheated, the healthy fats they contain may break down and lose their nutritional value. The solution? Cook only what you'll eat in one sitting. If you have leftovers, enjoy them cold in a salad, but avoid reheating whenever possible. 3. Pasta with cream, cheese, or milk-based sauces. Creamy pasta dishes may taste luxurious when fresh, but they're among the riskiest to reheat. The combination of dairy, fats, and starch creates a breeding ground for bacteria if left at room temperature, even briefly. Reheating often fails to eliminate all risks, especially if done unevenly or more than once. On top of that, creamy sauces tend to separate when reheated, turning watery or clumpy. For seniors or with sensitive stomachs, this can lead to indigestion or loose stools. My recommendation, cook small portions and enjoy immediately. If you do store leftovers, separate the pasta and the sauce. Reheat only once, and do so thoroughly, ideally on the stovetop rather than the microwave. I understand it's common to want to save food, especially when living alone or cooking for a few. But with these 3 dishes, safety and nutrition should take priority over convenience. From today, try to cook a little less, eat it fresh, and learn which foods to leave behind after the first serving. This small shift can protect your digestion, your heart, and even your mind over time. Do you often reheat these types of meals? Share your habits in the comments. I'd love to help you find safer, simpler alternatives that still fit your routine, because caring for your body starts with caring for your plate. Number 9. Top 5 golden rules for safely eating leftovers. After 60, leftovers aren't the enemy. When handled properly, the food you save from lunch can become a light, nourishing, and convenient dinner. But after age 60, your body needs extra protection. Your immune system isn't as strong as it once was. Digestion slows. And what a younger person can tolerate, a bit of bacteria, uneven reheating, can leave you feeling unwell for days, or even land you in the hospital. That's why I want to share with you 5 golden rules, simple but powerful steps, to make sure every leftover you eat is as safe as it is satisfying. 1. Cool food quickly as soon as possible. After cooking, let your food cool for 1 hour. Use shallow containers, wide trays, or place dishes on a stone countertop to help release heat faster. Never leave food sitting out on the counter for hours. Every passing minute is a chance for bacteria to grow. 2. Use shallow airtight containers and always label them. Shallow containers help food cool evenly and quickly. Airtight lids protect against bacteria and odors in your fridge. And labeling your food with the date helps you know exactly what to eat first, preventing forgotten spoiled meals. 3. Reheat properly, thoroughly, and evenly. To kill bacteria, food must reach at least 165 degrees, about 75 degrees. In the microwave, always stir halfway through. For dishes with meat, cut into smaller pieces so the heat penetrates fully. If possible, reheat on the stovetop. It gives you better control and more even heating. 4. Never reheat more than once. Each time you reheat, bacteria get another chance to multiply, especially if the food isn't piping hot all the way through. Only take out the portion you'll eat. Leave the rest in the fridge untouched. If you reheat it once, finish it. 5. If something smells off or looks strange, don't risk it. If a dish smells sour, looks a little different, or has an odd texture, throw it out. Don't gamble with your health to avoid wasting food. The cost of illness far outweighs the cost of one serving tossed away. These rules aren't complicated. They just require awareness and gentle habit changes. But the impact? Huge. You'll protect your gut, your immune system, and your overall well-being from the many hidden risks of improper food handling. Because after 60, meals aren't just about feeling full. They're about healing, protecting, and restoring your body. So, how many of these rules are you already following? Share in the comments. I'd love to hear your story, your kitchen routine, and your tips. We all learn best from one another, especially when it comes to something as deeply personal as our daily meals. My dear friends, we've just uncovered some deeply important truths, simple kitchen habits that, over time, can quietly affect your health in profound ways, especially after 60. Maybe you've thought to yourself, I've been eating leftovers for years. I feel fine. But now you understand. As we age, our bodies respond differently. Those invisible bacteria in reheated food, those innocent-seeming habits like storing soup in large pots or microwaving cold chicken, can be the silent reason for your fatigue, your bloating, your restless nights. Here's the good news. You can change all of this, starting with your very next meal. Just follow the small principles we discussed today. Cool food quickly, store it correctly, reheat it safely, and most importantly, know which foods must be eaten fresh. These aren't just food safety tips. They are acts of daily self-care. Simple steps that protect your digestion, your brain, and your energy. If you found this video helpful, leave a comment below. Write, I've learned something new, or time to change my habits. I read every message personally, and I'll reply with sincere guidance. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss another lesson on living well, aging wisely, and caring for your brain. And if you're wondering, what about eggs? I eat them every morning. Are there mistakes I might be making without realizing it? Then you absolutely must watch our next video. As a brain doctor, I was even shocked to discover the 7 most common egg mistakes that could harm your memory, your arteries, and your long-term health. Click now to watch. As a brain doctor, I'm shocked. Eat eggs, but never make these 7 mistakes. They can be fatal. It's not just about eating eggs, it's about protecting the one organ that carries every memory you've ever loved, your brain.